Hello, my dear students. I'm very happy to sharing with consignment chapter the remaining practical oriented problems. My dear students, last class itself we were discussing about the journal entries and ledger accounts. My dears, ledger accounts. Now we are going to discuss same nature of problem, my dears. Same nature of problem regarding to the consignment accounts. Regarding to the consignment account, my dear students. Listen here. Actually, last problem itself, Raghupati, we were discussed. So today we are going to discuss the next problem. Here there is a problem, my dear students. Here there is a problem. Wait a minute. My dear students, here there is a problem. Listen here. Sachin consigned. My dear students, Sachin consigned 1,200 cricket bats at 450 each to draw it, and he incurred wages rupees 10,000, freight rupees 12,000, carriage rupees 1,000, and loading charges rupees 10,000. He received advance of rupees 1,40,000, my dears. Received advance of rupees 1,40,000 from Dravid. So Sachin here, under this problem, Sachin becomes the consigner and Dravid becomes the consignee, my dear students. Consignee. So listen here. Sachin consigned 1,200 cricket bats at 450 each to Dravid, and Sachin incurred wages 10,000 rupees, freight 12,000 rupees. Wait a minute. Freight 12,000 rupees. Again, carriage 1,000 rupees and loading charges 10,000 rupees, my dears. He received advance of rupees 1,40,000 from Dravid. Dravid sold 550 bats at 500 each. First sale, my dears. 550 bats at 500 each. Again, second sale 350 bats at 600 each. And third sale 200 bats at 700 each. The total sales, my dears, 550 plus 350, 900, then 200, 1,100 means total cricket bats 1,200, my dear students. Out of 1,200, Dravid sold 550 plus 350, 900 plus 200, 1,200 bats were sold, means 1,000 unsold, my dears. 1,000 bats unsold. That's why we are going to calculate the closing stock, my dears. He incurred unloading charges rupees 18,000, carriage 12,000, and he is eligible for ordinary commission 10%, bill credit commission 5%, and overriding commission 2%, my dears. Pass necessary journal entries and prepare ledger accounts in the books of both the parties. My dear students, first we are going to discuss calculation of closing stock or unsold stock, my dears, or unsold stock. Closing stock is nothing but unsold stock. Unsold stock. My dears, see here, under the calculation of closing stock, we are taking into consideration cost of unsold stock. Total there is 2,200 bats. Under that, first 550 bats were sold, second 350 bats were sold, third one 200 bats were sold. Means out of 1,200, 550 plus 350 plus 200, 1,100 deduct. So after available balance is 100, that is unsold bats. Unsold bats, 100 bats were unsold, remain in the hands of Dravid. That's why 100 into 450. This is called face value of the bats, my dears. Face value of the bats. 100 into 450, 45,000. 100 into 450, 45,000. Had consignor expenses, wages 8,000, freight 12,000, carriage 1,000, and loading charges 10,000, my dears. So 8 plus 12, 20, 30, 31,000, my dears. 31,000 into unsold bats, my dears. Unsold bats 100, total bats 1,200, my dears. 100 by 1,200. 100 by 1,200 leads to 2,583. The amount leads to 2,583, my dears. The sum of 45,000 plus 2,583 leads to 45,583. 45,583. Then had consignees non-recurring expenses. My dear students, non-recurring expenses. So here we are not consider recurring, regular expenditure we are not taking into consideration. So non-recurring expenses which are not regular, so they are treated as calculation. So under that, unloading charges 18,000, carriage 12,000, my dears. Total 30,000. 30,000 into unsold stock 100, total bats 1,200. So it leads to 2,500, my dear students. 2,500. So then the sum of total unsold stock in the hands of Dravid, that is 50,083, my dears. That is 50,083. 50,083 rupees unsold stock, my dears. Closing stock or unsold stock 50,083. After that, my dears, I will take into consideration first as a journal entries. Journal entries in the books of consignor, nothing but Sachin. Sachin, in the books of Sachin, my dears. As usual, we know that, my dears, first entry, consignment account data to goods sent on consignment account. Here, consignment account data to goods sent on consignment account. How much? Total bats, 1,200 bats into 1,200 bats into 450. It leads to 5,40,000, my dears. Clarity in the ledger problems, you have the full clarity here. So 1,200 bats into 450. The sum is 5,40,000, my dears. First entry, consignment account data to goods sent on consignment being goods sent on consignment. Second entry, cashier bank account data to consignee's account being advance received from consignee. How much advance received by the Sachin from Dravid means 1,40,000. This is the entry for advance. If the problem indicates the advance, we should pass the entry. Otherwise, there is no need of passing the advance entry. Cashier bank account data to consignee's account being advance received. Next, third entry, my dears. Consignment account data to cashier bank account being expenses incurred by consignor, my dears. Already we know that which are the expenses: wages, freight, carriage, and loading, my dears. Total 31,000. I am also indicating here 31,000, my dears. 31,000. Consignment account data to cashier bank account being expenses incurred by consignor, total expenditure 31,000. Next one, consignment account data to consignee's account, expenses incurred by consignee, my dears. Expenses incurred by consignee, only two expenses, that is unloading charges and one more expenditure, that is carriage, my dears. 18,000 plus 12,000, it leads to 30,000, my dears. It leads to 30,000. Consignment account data to consignee's account being expenses incurred by consignee, 30,000, my dears. Next, consignee's account data to consignment account being sales made by consignee. Sales made by consignee. There are three categories of sales: 450, 350, and 200, my dears. That total we are treated as 6,25,000. Further calculations, we go for ledger account, my dears. There is a clarification in the ledger, my dears. So then, after that, sales, consignment account data to consignee's account being commission due, my dears. They are eligible for ordinary commission, creditor commission, and overriding commission, my dears. Further calculations, we go for ledger account, my dears. There is a clarity about the calculation of commission. The total commission leads to 1,06,250. Consignment account data to consignee's account, my dears. Then consignment stock account data to consignment account being closing stock recorded. Already we know that closing stock 50,083. Already we are calculated. After that, profit on consignment. So profit and loss account data to consignment account. Sorry, my dears. Here under this problem there is a loss being loss transfer. Profit and loss account data to consignment account. The loss amount rupees 32,167. Of course, the calculations go through ledger account, my dears. Then cashier bank account data to consignee's account being final balance received from final balance are being amount received from consignee, that is 3,48,750, my dears. Of course, it's also in the consigner account we are work out. The last entry, goods sent on consignment account debtor to consignment account, being goods sent on consignment account closed 5,40,000. Face value of the consignment goods, my dears. 5,40,000. The entire clarification we are go through for ledger, my dears. Here there is a ledger accounts in the books of Sachin are consigner, my dears. Listen here. Your doubt should be clarified here. That is first one, consignment account, my dears. Consignment account. Particulars, amount rupees, particulars, amount rupees, my dears. Debit side and credit side. First entry, consignment account data to goods sent on consignment account, my dears. Goods sent on consignment account. Total bats 1,200. Face value 450, my dears. That's why it leads to 5,40,000. Entire all the calculations clarified here only, my dears. If you have the any amount clarification in the journal entries, you should be clarified here only, because here there is a particular clarification about each calculation, my dear students. So that is first, consignment account data to goods sent on consignment account, first entry. Second entry, to cash or bank account. Consignment account data to cash or bank account. The expenditures incurred by consignor, my dears. Under that, wages 8,000, freight 12,000, carriage 1,000, loading 10,000, my dears. It leads to total 31,000. This is the expenditure incurred by the consignor while consignment. Third entry, my dears, to consignee's account means of the expenditure incurred by consignee, my dears. There are only two expenditure incurred by consignee. That is first one, unloading charges. Second one is carriage. It leads to 30,000, my dears. 30,000. There is no doubt, I think, because it's clear. Goods sent on consignment 5,40,000, cash or bank account 31, consignee's account 30, my dears. After that, we are going to sales, my dears. Here there are three categories of sales, my dears. First, 550 bats sold at 500 per bat. It leads to 2,75,000. Second category, 350 bats sold at 600 each. It leads to 2,10,000, my dears. Third category, 200 bats at 700 each. It leads to 1,40,000, my dears. 1,40,000. The sum of total sales means 550 plus 350 plus 200, 1,100 bats totally sold by the draw weight for the worth of 6,25,000, my dears. This is total sales, my dears. Total sales. Once again, there are three categories of sales, my dears. Here, one is 550 bats sold for 500 each. It leads to 2,75,000. 350 bats were sold for 600 each. It leads to 2,10,000. Then 200 bats sold for 700 each. It leads to 1,40,000, my dears. Total sales 6,25,000, my dears. 6,25,000. After that, my dears, we are going to calculate of commission, my dears, because here also three categories of commission given in the problem, my dears. One is ordinary commission 10%, del creditor commission 5%, and overriding commission 2%, my dears. Overriding commission 2%. Listen here, my dears. Ordinary commission, total sales 6,25,000 into 10 by 100, 62,500 rupees. It leads to 62,500 rupees, my dears. Second one is del creditor commission 5%, 6,25,000 into 5 by 100 leads to 31,250, my dears. Then third category of commission leads to overriding commission, that is 6,25,000 into 2 by 100 leads to 12,500, my dears. 12,500. The total commission leads to 1,06,250, my dear students. 1,06,250. Again, we have one more entry, that is consignment stock account, my dears. Closing stock. We have the closing stock of 50,083. 50,083, my dears. That's why under this problem, debit side higher, my dears. First time, debit side higher balance. That's why we are transferred to lesser side, my dear students. We are transferred to lesser side, that is 7 lakh 7,250, my dears. 7 lakh 7,250. The balancing figure out of 7 lakh 7,250, you should be deduct 6 lakh 25,000 and 50,083. The balancing figure 32,167. That is called loss, my dears. So consignment loss 32,167, my dear students. After that, we are going to consignees account, my dears. Consignees account. Under that, particular sum amount rupees, particular sum amount rupees. Debit side, we have already know that only one entry, that is consignment account sales, my dears. I am taking into consideration total sales, my dears. Here 6,25,000. Credit side indicate that by consignment account expenses, consignee expenses 30,000 total. Then consignment account commission, total commission 1,06,250, my dears. 1,06,250. Then cashier bank account advance 1,40,000, my dears. 1,40,000. First expenses, then commission, then advance, my dears. So then it's time to make the balance. 6,25,000 debit column higher, transfer to lesser side 6,25,000. The balancing figure leads to 3,48,750. That is the balancing figure. It should be payable by the consignee to the consignor, my dears. 3,48,750. After completion of consignee's account, we have one more account, goods sent on consignment account, my dears. Goods sent on consignment account. As usual, last problem itself, what the entries we are passed, same entries here also passed, just amount will be changed. That is, credit side by consignment account means goods sent on consignment account data to consignment account 5,40,000. Debit side to close to trading or purchase account 5,40,000, my dears. So it's tally for 5,40,000 rupees. It's tally for 5,40,000, my dears. So these are the journal entries and ledger account in the books of Sachin, my dears. Again, we are going to draw it, my dears. Here, journal entries in the books of draw it, consignee, my dears. Consignee. Journal entries in the books of draw it, consignee, my dears. Consignee books. So which is the first journal entry? Listen here, my dears. Consignee's account debtor to cashier bank account being advance paid on consignment. Advance paid on consignment 1,40,000, my dears. First entry for advance. Second entry, consignor account debtor, my dears. Consignor account debtor to cashier bank account being expenses incurred on consignment, that is 30,000, my dears. 30,000 expenditure incurred by consignee. Then cashier bank account debtor to consignor account being goods sold on consignment. Total sales, my dears. Total sales, that is 6,25,000, my dears. That is 6,25,000. Then consignee's account data, consignor account debtor to commission account. Consignor account debtor to commission account being commission paid 1,06,250, my dears. 1,06,250 total commission. Again, last entry, my dears. Last entry, that is consignor account debtor to cashier bank account. Final balance, my dears. Final balance settled, my dears. Final balance settled 3,48,750, my dears. 3,48,750. So these are the journal entries in the books of draw it, my dears. First one is for advance, second one is for expenses, third one is for sales, fourth one is for commission, fifth one is for final balance, my dears. After that, ledger accounts, my dears. Ledger accounts in the books of draw it, my dears. Under that first one, consignor account. So what's the journal entry we are passed? Same for journal entries, we are preparing ledger accounts here. Particular amount rupees, particular amount rupees. By cashier bank account sales, total sales 6,25,000, my dears. Debit side, to advance 1,40,000, to expenses 30,000 cashier bank account, to commission account 1,06,250, my dears. The balancing figure 3,48,750, my dears. So total 6,25,000. Once again, sales credit entry 6,25,000. Then debit entry, advance first to cashier bank account 1,40,000. To cashier bank account expenses 30,000. This is the expenses incurred by consignee, my dears. Again, commission 1,06,250. It includes ordinary commission, del creditor commission, and overriding commission, my dears. Then the balancing figure, the consignee should be payable to consignor 3,48,750. After that, we have one more account, that is commission, my dears. To first by consignor account 1,06,000, my dears. Then for closing to profit and loss account 1,06,250. 1,06,250, 1,06,250. Of course, it's tally for 1,06,250. 1,06,250, it's tally, my dears. This is called so journal entries and ledger accounts. Don't be worried, because in the problem itself, either they are asking for journal or ledger. They are not asking for journal and both ledgers, right? My dears, same as it is problem, one more problem we have here, that is Mr. Venkat. Listen here, my dears. Mr. Venkat of Asan consigned 900 articles at 100 each to Ramesh of Tumkur, my dears. To Ramesh of Tumkur. He incurred, means Venkat incurred expenses of cartage 3,000, insurance 5,000, loading charges 2,000 respectively. Three expenditures incurred by Venkat, that is cartage 3,000, insurance 5,000, and the loading charges 2,000, my dears. Then Venkat received a bank draft of 22,200, my dears. This is called advance, my dears. As advance, at the end of the period, sends account sales, it includes the following. So it indicates that sales, my dears. 440 articles sold at 125 per 125 each, my dears, 125 each. Then 410 articles sold at 150 each, my dears. Total, my dears, 900. Listen here carefully. 900 out of 900, 440, 410. Total 850. 850, my dears. Remaining 50 unsold is nothing but closing stock. Out of 900, 440 plus 410, 850 articles were sold by Ramesh. Remaining 50 we are treated as closing stock, my dears. Closing stock. Again, Ramesh incurred expenses of cartage 2,500, unloading charges 1,500, 2,000 for godown rent, and 3,000 for advertisement. Very, very, very important, my dears. My dears, here godown rent and advertisement we are treated as recurring expenses. My dears, recurring expenses we are not taking into consideration while calculating the closing stock. Once again, listen here carefully. Unloading charges, cartage, they are the non-recurring expenses, but godown rent and advertisement, they are recurring expenses. Recurring expenses we are not considered while calculating the unsold goods or closing stock. Unsold goods are closing stock calculations. While calculating the closing stock, we are not considered recurring expenses. We are considered only non-recurring expenses, my dears. Then Ramesh entitled for 5% ordinary commission, 2% del creditor commission, and 1% overriding commission. Okay, three categories of commission, my dears. Prepare necessary ledger accounts in the books of both the parties. Here there is no journal, my dears, only ledgers. Only ledgers, my dears. As usual, first one, calculation of closing stock. Calculation of closing stock or unsold stock, my dears. Unsold stock. Under that, listen here, my dears. Total articles 900. Out of which 450 and 410 were sold by Ramesh. It means 850. Remaining 50 unsold. Face value 100, my dears. Face value 100. 50 into 100, 5,000. Had consignor expenses. Cartage 3,000. Insurance 5,000. Loading 2,000, my dears. Loading 2,000. Leads to 10,000. Listen here, my dears. 10,000 into unsold 50, total 900, my dears. Unsold 50, total 900. It leads to 556 rupees. It leads to 556. The total leads to Total leads to 5,556. 5,556, my dears. After that, had consignees non-recurring expenses. My dears, very important. Here I am taking into consideration only two expenditure, that is cartage and loading charges, and I am not considered go down rent and advertisement because they are recurring expenses. Go down rent, advertisement, sundry expenses, whatever it may be, they are the recurring expenses. But here I am taking into consideration non-recurring expenses only. 2,500, 1,500 leads to 4,000, my dears. 4,000 into unsold 50, total 900, my dears. 900 articles total, but unsold 50 only, my dears. That's why I am taking into consideration 50 divided by 900. It leads to 222. 222. Total closing stock leads to 5,778. 5,778, my dears. Then ledger accounts in the books of consignor. Ledger accounts in the books of consignor, my dears. I think Venkat, right? Ledger accounts in the books of consignor, that is Venkat, my dears. Same consignment account, particular sum of rupees, my dears. Two goods sent on consignment as usual, my dears. 900 total articles, face value 100. It leads to 90,000. Then cash or bank account, expenditures incurred by consignor, my dears, Venkat. So cartage 3,000, insurance 5,000, loading 2,000, my dears. It leads to total 10,000. After that, consignees expenses, consignees account. Here I am taking into consideration all the expenditure, my dears. Listen here. For calculation of closing stock only we are not considered, but for the preparation of consignment account we are taking into consideration recurring and non-recurring expenditure both. Unloading 1,500, my dears. Unloading 1,500. Cartage 2,500. Go down rent 2,000. Advertisement 3,000, my dears. Total leads to 9,000, my dears. 9,000. Wait a minute, my dears. 2,500, 1,500, right? Total leads to 9,000. Then come to sales, my dears. There are two categories of sales only here, my dears. There are two categories of sales. That is first one, 450 articles sold at 125 each, and 410 articles sold at 150 each, my dears. 440 into 125, 55,000. 410 into 150, 61,500, my dears. So its total leads to total sales 1,16,500. 1,16,500. After sales, we are going to calculate commission, my dears. Consignees account, commission. Listen here, my dears. Three categories of commission here. First one is ordinary commission, 5%, 1,16,500 total sales into 500, 5,825. Bill creditor commission, 1,16,500 into 200, 2,330. Overriding commission, 1,16,500 into 1%, 1,165. The total commission leads to 9,350 meters. 9,350. After that, we have one more entry, that is consignment stock account closing stock meters. 5,778. 5,778, my dears. So it leads to find out profit or loss. Credit side higher, my dears. 1,22,278 credit side. Transfer to lesser side, 1,22,278. Out of credit side, we should be deduct all the debit side content, 90,000, 10,000, 9,000, again 9,320. It leads to the profit of 3,958, my dears. 3,958 profit to profit and loss account. After that, consignees account, my dears. Here consignees account, as usual, last problem, my dears. Debit only one entry, that is sales. Credit side expenditure, commission, advance. That's enough, my dears. To consignment account sales, 1,16,500. Credit side by consignment account expenses of consignee 9,000. By consignment account commission 9,320 total commission. To cashier by cashier bank account advance 22,200. So total credit debit side higher 1,16,500. Transfer to lesser side 1,16,500. The balancing figure leads to 75,980 rupees, my dears. This is the balance due from the consignee to the consigner, my dears. 75,980. After that, we have go to goods sent on consignment account, my dears. Under that, so by consignment account 90,000, face value of the articles, debit side for closing to trading or purchases account 90,000, my dears. The problem tally for 90,000, that is goods sent on consignment. After that, ledger accounts in the books of Ramesh, consignee, my dears. Consignee, as usual, we are preparing two accounts: consigner account, commission account, my dears. Consigner account by cash or bank account sales, total sales 1,16,500. Debit side as usual, madam, my dear students, advance, expenses, commission, my dears. To cash or bank account advance 22,200. To cash or bank account expenses 9,000. To commission account 9,320, my dears. The balancing figure leads to 75,980, my dears. 75,980. The total leads to 1,16,500, my dears. 1,16,500. Again commission, my dears. By commission, by consigner account 9,320, my dears. Consigner account commission, total commission. Transfer to profit and loss account 9,320. The total leads to 9,320 only. Tally. This is called ledger accounts of consignment, my dears. Both the parties, my dear students. The next topic is abnormal loss. I will continue in next class, my dears. Next class.